In a surprising turn of events within the Philadelphia Eagles organization, longtime executive Alec Halaby has announced he is stepping down after an impressive 17-year tenure. This development raises eyebrows not only because of Halaby's significant contributions, but also due to the ongoing speculation about his next move in the NFL landscape. Fans, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from, and what do you think about this news? Halaby, who first joined the Eagles as an intern back in 2007, has ascended through the ranks, ultimately being promoted to assistant general manager in 2022. His departure comes on the heels of a series of changes in the Eagles' front office, including the recent exits of Senior Vice President Bryce Johnston and Vice President of Football Operations Jeff Scott, both of whom left for positions with the Atlanta Falcons. This leaves us to ponder, is there a larger shakeup happening within the organization, and how will it impact the Eagles moving forward? In his heartfelt statement, Halaby expressed immense gratitude to the Eagles organization, particularly owner Jeffrey Lurie and general manager Howie Roseman. He credited Lurie's leadership for establishing a top-tier organization and acknowledged Roseman's mentorship throughout his career. Halaby's tenure has coincided with the franchise's most successful years, including its historic Super Bowl victories. His contributions to building championship-caliber teams in Philadelphia cannot be overstated. He played an instrumental role in developing one of the most advanced analytics departments in the NFL, a groundbreaking effort that has paved the way for data-driven decision-making in the league. However, it's worth noting that Halaby's departure comes at a time when the NFL landscape is shifting rapidly. Currently, there's only one GM opening in the league, the Minnesota Vikings. Halaby's previous interviews for GM positions with teams such as the Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets reflect his ambition to move up the ranks. Still, he has found himself stuck at the assistant GM level in an environment where traditional scouting backgrounds often dominate the conversation. While he has moved beyond the analytics guy label, the question remains, is the NFL truly ready to embrace executives like Halaby who have excelled in modern football operations? The Eagles now face a critical juncture. With Halaby's exit, alongside other key personnel leaving, they must navigate this transitional phase wisely. How will this affect the Eagles' strategic direction, especially as they prepare for upcoming drafts and free agency? The organization cannot afford to lose its momentum, especially in a competitive NFC landscape. Halaby's legacy in Philadelphia is profound, yet his departure raises essential questions about the future of the Eagles' front office. Will they seek to replace Halaby with someone who can continue the innovative approach he championed, or will they revert to traditional methods that may not align with the evolving nature of the game? As we reflect on Halaby's contributions and the impact of his departure, it's clear that the Eagles will need to reassess their strategy and ensure they maintain a forward-thinking approach. The next steps for both Halaby and the Eagles will be crucial. Let's keep an eye on this developing situation as we transition to our next news item. As the Philadelphia Eagles continue to make waves in the offseason, the recent trade involving 2 third-round picks for Jonathan Greenard has stirred up plenty of conversation among fans. Was this a shrewd move or a gamble? Fans, where are you watching from? Leave your thoughts in the comments because what happens next could shape the future of this franchise. When Jaelan Phillips signed that jaw-dropping 4-year, $120 million deal with the Carolina Panthers, it left a gaping hole in the Eagles' defensive line. In response, Howie Roseman once again showcased his knack for strategic thinking by acquiring Greenard, a player who could very well be the answer to that void. Initially, the buzz around Greenard's contract hinted at a whopping $100 million deal. But as the details emerged, it was revealed to be a much more manageable 2-year, $60 million extension with significant guarantees. This kind of financial maneuvering is classic Roseman. The 2-year contract extension with $60 million in new money and $50 million in total guarantees has a clever structure. The Eagles essentially have a 4-year deal with 4 additional void years. What does this mean for the team's financial flexibility? It means they can shed Greenard without incurring hefty dead money hits. If they need to pivot, they can save $1.68 million if they cut him before June 1st in 2028. The savings continue to grow, with potential cuts in 2029 and even 2030 offering nearly $19.8 million and $40 million in cap relief, respectively. Yet, while on the surface, this trade seems like a win, it raises questions about the future of the Eagles' defensive line. Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt are both players poised for significant extensions, and if they live up to their potential, they'll demand substantial paydays. Greenard, who has the capability of producing double-digit sacks, even if last season's performance was less than stellar, could be a critical piece of the puzzle. Still, if he doesn't meet expectations, we could end up with another situation reminiscent of Bryce Huff's underwhelming tenure. What remains to be seen is how Greenard fits within the Eagles' overall strategy during this window of opportunity. His production could play a pivotal role in not only fortifying the Eagles' defense, but also in setting the stage for negotiations with other key players on the roster. In a league where every dollar counts, Roseman has once again demonstrated his ability to think several moves ahead, ensuring the Eagles remain competitive and flexible as they chase that elusive Super Bowl title. Fans, stay tuned, because as this offseason unfolds, every move will be crucial, and this trade could be just the beginning of a thrilling chapter for the Eagles. Now, let's transition to the next segment as we dive deeper into what's shaping up to be an electrifying offseason for Philadelphia. As the Philadelphia Eagles gear up for the 2026 NFL season, the roster is set to undergo significant changes, a reality that weighs heavily on players, coaches, and executives alike. With the recent NFL draft shaking things up, fans should brace themselves for some tough decisions ahead. Who will stay, and who might be on the chopping block? Let's dive into the players whose futures in Philadelphia could be in jeopardy. First up, we have the backup center position where the competition is heating up between Majors and Drew Kendall. As it stands, Kendall, a fifth-round pick from last year, appears to have the edge. Meanwhile, Majors, an undrafted free agent, hasn't found a permanent home in the NFL and has already bounced around several teams. One has to wonder if the Eagles have the patience to keep Majors on board when Kendall is already making a name for himself. Unless the Eagles decide to add a seasoned veteran to the mix, it looks like Kendall is poised to secure that backup role. The tight end situation is another area of concern, especially with the addition of rookie Eli Stowers. Latu, a player who had hoped to carve out a niche on the active roster, now finds his chances dwindling, with the Eagles potentially looking to add an extra wide receiver. Especially if they part ways with A.J. Brown in a post-June 1 trade, the tight end position becomes even more crowded. Latu's skill set may not be enough to secure a spot, as the numbers just aren't in his favor. Instead, a trip to the practice squad seems more likely for him. Then there's Steele, who could potentially fill a fullback role in the Eagles' offense. It's a bit of a conundrum, though, as offensive coordinator Sean Mannion might not prioritize that position with the depth they have at tight end, including Stowers and veteran Johnny Mutt. Steele, who was signed following last season, could easily find himself on the outside looking in as the roster takes shape. Over in the secondary, McWilliams is a depth defensive back who was drafted in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft. While it's tough to cut a player so recently picked, the Eagles' decision to bring in Rick Woolen to pair with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean complicates matters for McWilliams. With the emergence of Jacorian Bennett and Khalil Ringo, McWilliams may find himself pushed down the depth chart, an unfortunate but realistic outcome. Lastly, while the Eagles didn't aggressively pursue new talent for the interior defensive line this offseason, they still have some solid depth there. Ty Robinson and Byron Young appear to be in better positions to make the active roster, while rookie UAR Bernard could surprise everyone with his impressive combination of size and athleticism during training camp or the preseason. It's a classic case of survival of the fittest, and Bernard's performance could very well dictate whether he secures a spot or not. As we approach the start of the new season, the stakes are high for these players, and the decisions made will undoubtedly resonate throughout the Eagles roster. As fans, we must be ready for any surprises. How do you feel about the potential cuts? Are you watching from Philadelphia or elsewhere? Leave your comments below, and let's discuss what this means for the Eagles' future. And don't forget to subscribe for the latest news and insights on the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a pivotal time, and we want to keep you informed every step of the way.